This conference will now be recorded.
Guys, just give me 1 minute. There is a problem with the recording. I'm just ensuring that the recording works properly.
Okay.
Okay, I think the recording is okay. Okay, so I welcome everyone to the very first class of API testing using Postman tool. I hope I'm pretty much audible to all of you and my screen share is also visible. Can
Yes.
anyone confirm me quickly? Yeah, good.
Yes,
Yes.
it's visible.
Yes, sir. Your voice is very clear.
Okay, since today is a Friday and the very first class, today we will not do pretty much the actual software automation testing, but we'll have a quick introduction about each of you and also my profile. There are few people who joined newly, and I will also give you a little bit of introduction toward the manual testing so that each of you will have the basic understanding of what is manual testing, and then we will switch to our API automation testing from Monday class. Okay. So I would like to make a couple of points clear for all of you. Today is day one training. So I'll just use this notepad to write it down here. Today is a day one training and the class starts from 9 p.m. Indian Standard Timings. It goes until 10 p.m. Indian Standard Timings. Every day we will have class for 1 hour, and the first 10 minutes of each class is reserved for your questions. Feel free to ask any kind of question in the first 10 minutes. Okay, do not think that is that a simple question or a complicated question. If I have an answer, I will give you guys an answer to that question. So use the first 5 to 10 minutes. I may not give you 10 minutes exactly, but 5 to 10 minutes is what you can use. You can use this time to get your questions answered. You can also WhatsApp me if you have any questions. I will be definitely answering all your questions. And the classes will be only from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday is a weekend for you and me, and you guys can practice on the weekend or spend time with your family members, do whatever you have, Monday to Friday. Okay. And with regards to recordings, right? So whatever I'm teaching, everything is being recorded. So video recordings will be made available on YouTube. All you have to do is you have to WhatsApp your email address so that we will add you or we will give you permission to your email address to watch the video on YouTube. Okay, is my voice echoing or it's okay? Okay, then with regards to the notes, right? So I will give you guys a Google Drive where the training material will be available. Here also I need your email address. So you have to give me your email address, and only once the participants are confirmed for the batch, right? Then I will start giving you access to the YouTube and also towards the Google Drive access. So most likely next week, today you will definitely get the video recording, but Google Drive access, I can start doing it only from the next week onwards. Mostly on Monday or Tuesday, I will be able to create a drive and start keeping all my notes over there. The reason I'm saying this is you don't have to worry about writing any notes for the training program. I will help you with all the training notes, and trust me, whatever notes I'm giving you, it is state of the art training notes. If you follow my training notes, I'm sure you will understand 100% how to approach your testing process of APIs, manual testing or automation testing. My notes has got the screenshots, step by step process. I will also write the notes during the training program. Okay, this training program, like I said, is 95% practical training and 5% is theory. So theory, I will be talking in the first 4 to 5 classes, and the remaining 20 classes will be 95%. Okay. Obviously, the students will also be interested to know how many days is the program. So this program goes for somewhere between 25 to 28 days. Okay. I'm not going to count the days. It can go even 30 days, 29 days, or only 26 days. It is all based on the table of content that I have promised I will teach you, which means most likely by December 25th, by Christmas, we will be able to complete this course. Okay. In case if there is a delay, probably by December 31st, we will be completing this course. Before I take it forward, anyone have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay, good. So this is just a clue that I'm giving you about how the training material will be given. So from our team, Anita will be coordinating with you guys with regards to the video recordings, and I will be responsible for giving you the training material. Okay. So the only request I have for everyone is when you are attending this training program, it's a sincere request to everyone. Stay calm in a room where you don't have disturbance. Maybe use your earphones. It's something you know already, but I'm just saying use earphones so that you don't have disturbance and listen, listen, listen. Then you ask questions if you have. Questions can be something you don't understand, something you want me to repeat again, something you want me to give one more example, right? Because not every student comes with same knowledge. Every student has different mindset, different thought process. They come from different background. One of you might be coming from IT background, one of you might be experienced, one of you might be a junior, one of you might be a fresher, one of you is planning to switch job from a non-IT job to an IT job. So I should ensure that all of you understand the automation process. Okay. Whatever course that you have decided to join, it is a very important topic in the industry today, right? So whatever we are talking, right? API automation testing. This is the topic that I'm teaching, which you have enrolled. And the tool we are using is Postman tool. So you can call it as automation tool. It is a Postman tool. I'm teaching it. Now, in the market, are there any jobs for this course is one of the common questions everyone will have, because you are attending course, you are spending 1 hour of your valuable time in the evenings or maybe mornings for few of you if you are joining this from a different geography. So when you're investing 1 hour time, and when I'm investing my 1 hour time, there has to be a benefit at the end of the day. There has to be an outcome. There has to be a takeaway, right? So what is the takeaway from this course? Like, what do I promise you? What does Kiran assure you? Is I will give you confidence, and I will give you that comfortable knowledge on the topic that I'm teaching you. So I am responsible for building confidence in you and teaching in a way that you will understand. So I don't teach in a way that becomes a bouncer to you. Bouncer means you know it doesn't come to your mind. You don't understand my English, or you don't understand my examples, or you don't understand the way I'm teaching. That would not be there in this course, because I know about myself and have been doing this training since so many years. So many students benefited. and they even flew to abroad, or they came back to India, they found better jobs, and they're able to do fantastic career because they're still in touch with me over WhatsApp. That's why I'm saying all these things. So that's the takeaway from my side. So what do I need from you is simple, this request. You have to listen carefully, but ask questions. I'm not stopping you saying you should not ask questions when I'm speaking. You can stop me right now also if you have a question. I encourage people who have questions because that's how you learn. And coming to the job market, right, for this particular course, whatever we are teaching, whatever you have enrolled for, today when you apply for a software testing job, usually, right, people say, hey, we are, example, if I take the company like Infosys, Wipro, TCS, IBM, they all would say that we are recruiting manual testing engineers. This is like 8 years before, or maybe let's say 5 years before. If you know manual testing, where you use your common sense to test an application, that's enough. But today, when they say manual testing engineers, they also expect you to know API testing. Today means from the last 5 years, I would say. So today, if you say that you are a manual test engineer but you do not know API testing, you are taking a risk in your career, because today every organization is expecting their manual test engineers to test the backend APIs also. How to test is something that I'm teaching in the course, but if you do not know, you are in a risk factor of your career. Because see, you have heard of chat GPT coming into picture, you have heard of artificial intelligence coming into picture. Slowly it is eating away the space in software testing also, meaning we have to use a lot of intelligence in testing the software applications with the help of artificial intelligence. That is what every company is asking for. For example, the company where I work for, my clients expect me to use artificial intelligence and help their testing process, and that's very challenging. That is where we are talking today. Now I'm talking about you guys, where I'm saying that the minimum knowledge of API testing has become mandatory today. If you know these two things, then you are in a better position in the job market. But why API testing? Why not something else like Selenium, or something like performance testing, or security testing, or accessibility testing? Every testing has its own job share, its own job market. But API testing has more number of jobs. Why? I'll also give you an answer that you can understand it. All of you must be having a smartphone, definitely, iPhone or Android. You might have installed so many apps on it, right? If I take my own smartphone, I have like around 15 apps. I uninstall these apps whenever I don't need it, but bare minimum I will have 10 apps which I need in my everyday life. You know, something like a cab booking app, or something like a movie booking app, or something like a food ordering app. The basics that your family wants. So 90% of the mobile apps that you have installed on your smartphone, they make use of APIs technology. What is API? We will talk later. So this 90% of the mobile apps, this is a safe number I'm giving you. I can even write 95, 99, 100% also. But just to be, 100% sure, I'm saying 90% of the mobile apps, they make use of APIs technology. Similarly, 90% of the .com applications that you see on browser, they also use API technology, which means if you say that you are working for IBM or Infosys or Microsoft or Google or any other small organization or a big organization, 90% of the projects they are winning or they are executing, they are developing, they make use of APIs, which means there is a necessity for API testing also, right? Because that is what companies are developing, then they want testers to test those APIs, which means what is the market space for API testing? 90% of the jobs today, 90% of the positions available in the job industry, they expect testers to have API testing as a basic knowledge. I'm not saying that if you know API testing, you will get a job. But if you don't know API testing, you will not get a job. That I can tell you. Again, I'm not saying this after reading an article or just saying for the sake of, because I stay in the same industry for the last 19 years. I have taken so many interviews. In fact, I have taken close to, in my career, I have taken close to 5,000 plus interviews for different companies, not for same company, right? Before Diwali, before Dasra, I have taken almost 30 interviews only for API testing. And trust me, I have selected zero because they do not know what is API testing. But people say that I know API testing. So 30 interviews before Diwali and Dasra. In a span of 1 month, I took 30 interviews for two different companies. None of the profiles are shortlisted. So that's the kind of momentum you have, especially in the IT space in India and also in abroad. So all I can say with confidence is this course is worth taking because that will benefit your career growth to make your profile stable in the industry. Okay, this is all a quick heads up about this position. I mean, this course. And this is the course curriculum that we have prepared. I think in one of the previous demo class that we had 2 days before, I have just shown this course curriculum, something like table of contents. We will be going through this table of contents every day so that you understand what is the progress I have made, you have made, or we together have made. So if I'm not going to read them now because it is going to be a little like jargon or a different language for you. I will just show you how many chapters we have. 14 chapters we have. Okay. So we'll cover all these 14 chapters on a daily basis. Chapter by chapter will follow. You will get a detailed notes from me, like I have said. I will also give you a quick synopsis of how the notes look like. Okay. So I'll just give a sample of how I have done that for the previous batches. So I create a folder where all the interview related questions and answers, multiple choice questions, what are the responsibilities of an API tester that you can write in your resume, and a sample resume template. This material is what you're going to receive. This is the project files that you see. You will get access to these things. The third folder is also project files. You will get access to all these things which I'm teaching. This is the test data that we created to test the application. These are the test reports that we have created during the execution process and during the training. And this is the training notes that you will get from me. And this is some other topic that we discussed about variables. So I have just created one empty folder. If you see this one, this is empty folder with the name API testing Isha batch 9 p.m. This folder is right now empty. This is a folder that I'm going to give you access where all the notes will be there. Videos will not be in Google Drive. Videos will be on YouTube. Okay, that we will get access to slowly. So this is how the drive looks like. So let me take a quick pause here. Anyone has any question for me? You can say no if there are no questions. Yeah, go ahead, Srilata. Okay, anyone have questions? If no, then we will just
No,
continue with some basics.
No, sir.
Okay, good.
Kiran, I have
Sir,
one question.
Yeah,
Uh, like, uh, like performance testing is also included in this course, right?
yes. Uh, Performance testing of APIs using Postman tool is part of our course.
But I think, as per my knowledge, Postman Canary is tool where we can do the load testing. Apart from that, rest of testing can we do from Postman?
Yes, we can. I will show you how to do it.
Yeah, can you show me like the some stuff
You mean now?
or example like uh,
I mean,
if
example
you have
like, can you repeat your question? I didn't get it, Suraj. Example means?
like I have seen on the YouTube like Postman Canary we can use for the load testing. But apart from
Mm-hmm.
that, I have not seen like other testing we can do on the Postman tool as per
Okay,
the
okay.
YouTube. So that's why I was curious. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just quickly show you a rough one. Let me open Postman on my computer. Yeah, so this is one of the execution I have done for one of the batch I was doing in the morning. So this is how the performance report looks like. And you can see the number of requests sent. You can see the average response time here, the error rate encountered. So here I have encountered some errors. You can also see the errors here, the type of errors we have received. And in fact, you can generate test reports in the form of PDF or in the form of HTML also. Okay. To do this portion, a lot of things have to be done. Like you need to create a collection. You need to create performance testing structure. You need to understand what is interoperability testing. You need to have certain JavaScripts written. So which I have written here, all these things. And then the report will be generated. So the details of how to do, definitely we will discuss in our course. But right now that's an example of how it looks like. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so now that that little introduction about what do we have in the course is done, I would like to give some basics about manual testing before we start off with API testing. This is based on the request I have received from two students that if I can brush up manual testing, they would benefit. So I wanted everyone to benefit from this. So from Monday, which is 2 days after now, we will actually start with my course curriculum, meaning whatever I have written here, right? We will start with chapter 1 from Monday onwards. Today we will have a little brush up so that you understand the basics of manual testing. I'm sure most of you might be aware of it, but still, let's try to discuss something that makes sense. So what I'll do, I'll put it on the Paint application. Yeah. So you have the manual testing. First of all, we should understand what is testing. Then we will talk about what is API testing, what is performance testing, what is automation testing. Monday onwards, we'll talk about them. Let's spend the remaining 30 minutes to understand this. What is testing, right? It's a general word, testing. And we are talking about software testing in an IT organization. So when we talk about testing, there are two objectives. Every test engineer, he or she, they will have two objectives.
Expected
Objective
and
one is,
avoided.
yes, correct. So the primary objective will be verify or validate if the requirements given by client or customer is designed plus developed in the application. So whatever your developer has designed and developed, is it same as what your customer has asked? That is the primary objective that you as a manual tester should verify. I will give an example of this primary objective. Okay. So let us say, okay, I think I can show you an image on Google, something that you might have seen on Facebook or Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, but still I'll show it. How engineer things from what a client has given. I'll just Google it. I must get an image that I can show. Yeah, so this is a famous example from almost 10 years. So look at this image. Look at the first picture. So the customer comes and says, hey, this is what I want, Kiran. Can you help me with your team design, this, this item so that kids can come and then they can swing here. This is what customer wanted. So they say what the customer described. And what the engineer designed. So the customer said he needs 3 steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Why 3 steps? Simple. Very junior kids, they can sit on the third step. Maybe people like LKG, kindergarten kids. Then people, students like second standard to fifth standard, they can sit on the second step and play. And then the third one can be probably for people with, more height, something like that. But how does your test engineer understood, or how does your developer understood? Only one step. The developer said that, okay, irrespective of the age, irrespective of the height, everyone should come and sit only here and play and then swing onto the tree in the evenings. Okay. Do not look at the third diagram. This I don't want to talk. But what customer said is this. What your company developed is this. So are they matching? Definitely no, right? What you want is different. What is developed is different. Like in this training also, you had a lot of expectations. But if I'm not meeting those expectations, then obviously you will say, Kiran, I'm sorry, I did not like your training. But if I'm meeting your expectations, yes, what you want is what I'm teaching. So it is always necessary to understand what your end user wants. Example, you are my clients, right? There are so many people who trusted Kiran and joined this class, right? Nearly 11 students joined this class. You join not for the sake of joining. It's not even for time pass. You are not killing your time and joining, right? You invested 1 hour of time to see how this training goes and is this something that works for you, right? And then you will take a decision after 1 hour, maybe on Monday or Tuesday, we'll take a class. So I have to ensure that your requirements are satisfied in the first 3 classes, not just first 3 classes, throughout the 25 classes or 28 classes. Because you are my client and I'm your maybe engineer who is helping you with the knowledge that you want, right? So here the primary requirement is 3 steps swing is necessary, but the developer has designed it with one swing. Now we should not go and fight with the developer. Since you are a manual tester or a software test engineer, you should also understand that customer described a swing with 3 steps. You as a manual tester or you as a test engineer should never think it is one step. This is where you have to come and cross mark this development and tell the developer in advance that, hey brother, you have misunderstood it. What customer wanted is different. What you are doing is different. Like this, we'll have so many examples in the internet if you search for. So this is where I'm coming. What is the primary objective? You have to validate if the requirements given by the customer is exactly understood by your developer and it is present in the application as it is. Then you have the secondary objective. So secondary objective is find as many bugs as possible in the developed application and get them fixed and track them towards closure. Who will fix the bugs? By developers. Now, if you don't understand what is a bug, it is a defect that you saw in the application, or it is a issue that you have seen in the application which is not working correctly. Okay. So something which is not working correctly, you call it as a bug, right? Example, again, for beginners, if you don't understand, I want to make it clear. Let's say this is the calculator on the computer, right? So I wanted to try 8 plus 8. What is the answer? 8 plus 8, 16. So is 16 the correct answer? Yes. So is the calculator working? Yes. But let's say you got the output as when I tried 8 plus 8, the answer came as 17, not 16. Okay, just assume 8 plus 8, the answer came as 17. Will you still accept this is correct? No. We will say that the addition is not working correctly. Then you will say that it is a bug. Bug means something that is not working correctly. Okay. Something like, let's say one of you is cooking food and then you have the habit to taste it when you are cooking it to see whether the ingredients of the salt, pepper, maybe the mirchi powder, etc., whatever ingredients you are putting and stirring on the vessel, you have the habit of tasting it. And obviously you will say that, okay, looks like I have to pour maybe half spoon of salt because it did not work out the way you wanted. If you don't add that half spoon of salt, no one will like the curry that you prepared. That is a bug that you discovered. So you are adding one more half spoon of salt, stirring it well, boiling it, and then you are tasting it. Now you might say, yeah, this is good. This is like primary objective. What you wanted is what you are developing in the form of a curry. When you complain that, hey, the mirchi should have been more, okay, or the salt should have been less, or the gravy should have been less, or the gravy should have been more. All these are suggestions that you get, either from you yourself if you are cooking it, or if you are cooking and your family friend is next to you, they are tasting it and they will suggest you that, hey, add some more salt, etc. So those suggestions that you are getting, we call them as bugs in the software industry. As a manual test engineer, our job is to figure out these bugs, as many as possible. There is no limit to the number of bugs that you can find, right? If you open Facebook application today, you can still find some 20 bugs. Someone can find 30 bucks, someone can find 1,000 bucks also. Bugs are always there, never ending process. Because what is a bug end of the day? Simple, pointing your fingers towards something that is not working. And you guys can tell me, are human beings good at pointing others, or they are not good at pointing others? Okay, we'll ask this question to Geeta. So, Geeta, do you think human beings are good at pointing fingers at someone else and then say, hey, you did not do well. You should have played like that. You should have read like that. You should have written exam in a better way. You should have given the interview in a better way. Don't you think human beings always point fingers at someone else and give suggestions?
Yes, it is there.
Yes, right. That's a human psychology, right? Everyone does that. Like
Yes.
Geeta does, Suraj does, Anita does, Kiran does. Everyone does that because we are all human beings, right? We love pointing fingers at someone and then commenting on them. If you know how to point fingers at someone and give them suggestions, you are half prepared already to be a software test engineer. Because your job in software testing is also pointing the bugs. You will point whether the primary objective is there or not. You will point whether the secondary objective is there or not, which means is your application working correctly or not. That is your job in manual testing. Okay. So to do manual testing, there are 1,000 ways, 1,000 techniques are there to find out. So usually what a test engineer starts off with, they will say test scenarios. Then you might have heard of the word test cases. If you have not heard of it, please Google it. I will also give some explanation right now. Test scenarios means, okay, before I give you test scenarios, let me write here, I have a requirement. Okay, the requirement will be, so I will give you one small application. This is something everyone knows, but I'll try to make it little different so that you will understand in a better way also.
Sir,
So let me, yes. Any questions? Yeah, please go ahead. You can unmute and let me know your question.
yeah, sir, in this example, if you can also define what is story, because that confuses me a lot. Like, what's the story, and then scenario comes in, and then if you can include the story part in it, please.
User story, that's what you meant?
Yeah, what is a story? Because when they say, oh, there is a new story, we have to create test cases or test scenario for on that. What is a story when the
Oh,
developers say there's a new story coming in?
okay. I'll talk about that also today only. So let me show you one small application. Give me just 1 minute. I will open that page. Okay, this is a simple login page. Now everyone knows what to do in this page, right? This is simply a login page where you have to enter the username. Maybe if your username is this, you enter it, and whatever is the password you enter, and then you click on login button. If it's a valid username password, you are logged in. Else you get a message, login failed. Please ensure the username and password are valid. Let us say I wanted the developers to develop this login page and with some validations here. So the requirement will be written something like this. So the requirement will be the application shall have a login screen that prompts username and password. Okay. The application shall have a login screen that prompts username and password. Only valid users can log into the application. So this is the requirement written by the customer, meaning by the client who gave us the project. Now, how you should understand this as a test engineer, that's what I'm going to explain. Again, if you do not understand, stop me, I can explain again. So this is the requirement. Now, as a test engineer, first you have to read this very, very carefully. As a test engineer, one thing you have to keep in mind is, the clue I'm giving you is, read the requirement 10 times. The more you read it, the more you understand. Okay. I will give you an example of this. Read the requirement 10 times. What is the meaning of this is, I'm deviating a little bit, but it will help you in your thought process. Okay. I'm trying to tune your mind in such a way that you become a true test engineer. I'll take notepad just to divert. You take this newspaper, okay? The regular newspaper. Let's talk about Times of India newspaper. What happens is, on the page 1, the very main page, we call it as main page, right? Which is very expensive if you are putting any advertisement. Let's say there is a company, I mean, most of you know Reliance, right, in India, Reliance or Jio, which is owned by Ambani, right? Mukesh Ambani, the richest guy in India. Let us say Mukesh Ambani wanted to start, see, he is already into Reliance Trends, dressing side, I mean, dress material side, fashion. He's already into supermarkets, Reliance Smart Bazaar. He's already into jewelry, Reliance, I don't know what is the name, Reliance Jewels, I guess. He's also into this fashion, Reliance Trends. He is into diesel, petrol, LPG in the form of Reliance Gas. He's on the telephone also, right? I mean, on the telecom industry using Jio, that that they have disrupted the entire Indian market. He's there everywhere. Example, I will say that Reliance wanted to get into coffee industry, meaning just like you have Tata Tea or Brew Coffee or Red Label Tea, or you have Gemini Tea. So many tea brands are there, right? Similarly, Mukesh Ambani says, hey, we are launching something called Geo Coffee. Let's say he's interested in the coffee industry for now. So let's say Geo Coffee. That is the name he wanted. So what he does is, on the main page, by spending nearly 1 lakh Indian rupees, he puts an advertisement. The all new Geo coffee, good for your health. It will bring you positive vibrations, etc., etc., and a big ad will come, right? So let us say Kiran sees this Geo coffee, and then what do you see? You'll simply say, okay, fine, it's just an advertisement. Go to the second page and see what is the news in India. But if you have ever observed, go to the fifth page or sixth page or any other page like eighth page, you will see an article probably by a doctor who recommends drinking coffee is good for health. Not only by doctor, by anyone. You will see a very big article where they say the advantages that you get if you drink coffee 2 times in a day, or morning coffee and the evening coffee. If you have observed this, you have to link this article on the fifth page or sixth page or eighth page to this one, Gia Coffee on the main page. What happens is, on the main page, Mukesh Ambani might have paid 1 lakh per page advertisement. That is the cost, okay? It is more than 1 lakh in fact. And Mukesh Ambani marketing team only will tell that somewhere in the inside pages, you promote coffee. On page 1, he is promoting his brand. In the other pages, he is proposing generally whether coffee is good or not. Since he introduced Geo Coffee, he does not want anyone to say that coffee is bad because it contains what is that? Cocaine. So he will ensure that couple of doctors or couple of the regular people who chat a lot, they will talk about some articles that drinking coffee in the morning is good, drinking coffee in the evening is good. Especially when your mood is not good, drink coffee, it will regenerate your energy, rejuvenate your energy. Why? He's linking this eighth page matter with the first page. That's how the marketing team works. This is called as read between the lines in English. Whatever I'm telling is not new. This is there in a movie. Whatever I'm telling you, this entire story I told you is there in a movie. Okay, it's a movie in Tamil and as well as in Telugu. So I read this, I understood the importance of this. Until then, even I'm not pretty good on these things. This is how the business people, they do business. They sell the brand on the main page. Somewhere inside, they will talk about what is good for people, what is not good for people. Okay. Now here, why am I taking this? Is it necessary for our training? Absolutely yes. Because as a manual test, as a test engineer, your thought process is very important. Thought process means your mindset is very important. Okay. That's why I said here, read the requirement 10 times. Only if you read the newspaper carefully, you will understand that read between the lines. Why someone is promoting good coffee is good for health today? Because Geo advertisement came on main page. Just to read the same Times of India newspaper 2 days back, 3 days back, there they will talk about drinking coffee is bad for health. You will also see articles where they say coffee is bad. When this Geo advertisement is not there, people will regularly write. But when Geo Coffee is introduced, or when Tata Tea is introducing something, they will talk good only. Because they get paid for that. That's why people say it's paid news these days, right? Paid news. You pay money, I will talk good about you. You don't pay money, I will start talking bad about you. That is called as reading between the lines. Similarly, when you are working in an organization as a test engineer, you have to read the requirements multiple times to clearly understand what is written. Which means this requirement you have to read multiple times to understand properly. So you read it in your mind 10 times, 100 times. So I will read it one more time. The application shall have a login screen that prompts the user name and password. Only valid users can log into the application, right? So as a test engineer, after you read it and understood it, you have to write the test scenarios followed by test cases. But first you should understand what is a test scenario and what is a test case. This is very important. People get confused here. Test scenarios means what to test. That is called as a test scenario. And test cases is how to test. That's called as a test case. So test case will define how to test something, and test scenarios will define what to test something. Sorry if I have interchanged. Test scenarios what to test cases how to test. Again, I'll give a small example. See, tomorrow is a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So usually Saturday and Sundays, what I do is like I'll ask my wife, let's have something nice for the dinner or something nice for the lunch, right? So that's my requirement. Okay, let's plan something good for our lunch. Now the test scenario is, because my wife knows that, okay, this guy gave me a general requirement, like he's looking for something on the vegetarian side, and if you're a non-veggie guy, then something on the non-vegetarian. Multiple options are there, right? So she will say, what to cook, to tell me. Like, let's say the options given is veg, egg, non-veg. Then I'll say, okay, let's plan something on the egg side, right? So I have answered egg, but let's say my wife is not a very good cook, then she'll definitely ask me, right? Or maybe she's a good cook, she will tell me how to cook the egg curry. Definitely everyone is aware how to cook an egg curry, right? But you can prepare it in 50 different varieties, because there are 50 different recipes out there. So what does she do? She goes to YouTube, she watches a better video with better ingredients or a recipe, and then she prepares that for our family. So how to cook the egg curry, please remember it's a test case. How means you call it as a test case. Test scenario means not how. I'm not worried about how to cook chicken or how to cook mutton or how to cook vegetarian. What to cook, what to test, what to develop is called as a test scenario. Remember this difference, okay? So now, after reading this requirement, what to test is called as test scenarios. So the test scenarios for this requirement will be, I can write down here. Test scenarios will be, verify if the application has a login screen. So you have to read this requirement 20 times, 10 times, 5 times and understand. After reading this, it says the application shall have a login screen. So I'm writing verify if the application has a login screen. And verify if the login screen has a username field. Because it says the login screen prompts for username. Then I will write verify if the login screen has a password field, because it also says that this is also there. Only valid users can log into the application. Verify if the registered users can log in successfully to the application. Right? This is something that you have to verify, because only valid people can log in. Valid means not Mukesh Ambani, right? If you are registered, you can log in. Meaning if you have signed up earlier, you have a valid username and a valid password with you, you can log in. These are the scenarios. Okay. But I can also write one more, right? Just copy this, paste it and say verify if the unregistered users cannot log in to the application. This is like thinking negatively, obviously, right? Because here they said the word only. That's why I said read the requirement 10 times or read between the lines. So only word should not be ignored. Only valid users can log in. So there is an underline here. So you have to put this line, its own importance you have to give here. Why is this not changing color? Okay, only valid users can log into the application. So therefore, I have to write verify if the unregistered users cannot log into the application. So your customer has given you how many requirements here? One requirement. But you as a test engineer have written how many test scenarios? 5 scenarios. See, I can write 5 more, but I don't want to get very detailed. Just the basics you have to understand. So 5 scenarios we have written here. What is test scenarios? What to test is test scenarios. So this is what you have to test. Let's say Srilata says, Kiran, I understood what to test, but tell me how to test. That's where the next thing in industry comes called test cases. Test cases means how to test. So how to test, of course, pretty easy now. I'll not make it complicated. Let's take the first one. Verify if the application has a login screen. So let us write the first requirement. So this is scenario 1. S1 is scenario 1. So one of you said, Kiran, tell me how to test this. So my solution for that. Okay. In English, we call it as solution, but in testing industry, we call it as test steps. Okay. Every test case will have a test step. Okay. So the test steps will be, so verify if the application has a login screen. And let's say the developer says, Kiran, this is the application. Please verify your scenarios. Now, does this application have login screen? Verify if the application has a login screen. Does this application has a login screen? Yes, that is what we see with our eyes. It has a login screen. But how did you come until here? Did the developer open it for you? No, right? You only opened your, first what did you do? You opened a browser, Chrome browser you have opened. Step 1 is open Chrome browser. So that you have to write like a baby steps. Open any browser. You can write Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, Safari, any browser that you want. Step 2, did the application open on its own? No. You have to copy this application URL and you have to paste it and press enter. Then on the application will load. So you have to write here. Second step is navigate to the URL. Which URL? This URL. After you navigate to this URL, then you have to verify whether login screen is present or not. So right here as a third step. Verify. Okay, already we have written the scenario, so I will not write here. So after you come here, what are you validating or verifying? Whether login screen is present or not. That is what you want. That we write it as expected result. Expected result is what you want. Like when my wife says, Kiran, I'm preparing egg curry. What is my expected result, guys?
I agree.
It should be tasty. It should be yummy. I mean, if I talk from generation Z language, it should be yummy.
Yes.
Right? Of course, when she spends 1 hour time to prepare curry for the family, we expect it to be yummy and tasty, not definitely bad, right? That is expected result. Actual result can be after you eat the food, then only I will give feedback to my wife saying, hey, this is too good. So I'm buying you one dress. Go and enjoy. Maybe that's my gift to my wife. So I'll say, yeah, I like the food. You made my day. That's actual result. Actual means after eating the food, I gave a feedback. My son gave a feedback. My mother gave a feedback. My father gave a feedback. That's actual result. But let's say she did not prepare good. Then what is the feedback? This is pretty bad. You wasted your 1 hour effort. Now we are unable to eat this egg curry. That is also actual result. But is it matching my expected result when the curry is not good?
No.
Let's say the curry is yuck. Yuck means bad. So everyone in the family is expecting the curry to be fantastic, but something wrong happened. Maybe she was in a bad mood and the curry is bad. Now no one is eating the food. What happened? The lunch event gets cancelled. Meaning, everyone becomes little crazy about why the curry did not come. So overall, what is the status of her cooking? Should I say pass or should I say fail?
Fail.
Fail, right? So this is what we will have in testing also. So here, what is the expected result when you follow open browser and navigate to this URL? What is the expected result? The login screen should come. I'll say the login screen has to be displayed. What is the actual result? Like I really did that, right? I opened the browser, I navigated to this URL, and am I able to see the login screen with my eyes? Are you able
Yes.
to see? Yes, we are seeing it. So what is the actual result? The login screen is displayed. Now, are these two statements same? Yes. So what is the status? Should I pass or fail?
Pass.
Tell me.
Pass.
It should pass, right? Because what you are expecting is same. What is happening is also same. So status pass. What status passed? Test case status passed. So if you pass a test case, developer will be happy that what he did is correct and you validated that. Okay, so this you have verified it. Similarly, the second one also, verify if the login screen name has a username field. How do you verify this? So I'll just write for S2. I'll not write for S3, S4. I'll just write for S2 and show it to you. So scenario 2 is verify if the login screen has a username field. How do you do that? Again, you will write the test steps. You will copy the same steps here also. Step 1 is open the browser. Step 2 is go to this. Step 3 is
Enter a username.
or directly we will write expected result. What is expected result here based on the scenario? You need to see username field. Are you seeing username field? Yes, there is a label and there is a text box where you can write whatever you want. So what is the expected result? The username label and username text box has to be displayed. What is the actual result? Is it coming really or it's not coming right now? It's coming. So I will say the username label and text box is displayed. So what is the status now? Pass or fail? Pass.
Pass.
Like this you are writing. So test case is what are the steps to follow and test. Test scenario is like just ordering, giving an order. Like I'll tell my wife, hey, you have to go and prepare a curry for me now. That's like ordering. That's a scenario. And my wife will go to the kitchen with wholeheartedness and she prepares the curry. If I go and watch, I can see how she is preparing the curry. First, she is taking a tumbler or a vessel. She is boiling the eggs. She is preparing the gravy on the other side. She is chopping the eggs. Then she's putting some masala on top of it. So these are all the steps she is following to prepare the curry. Those steps we call it as test steps. Okay. So what is the hierarchy here? Just like in a family, what is the hierarchy? You have the father, then you have the mother or mother and father, again feminism, then you have the kids. This is the order that you follow, right? Hierarchy in a family or parents and kids. Similarly, the order that you follow in software testing is first you will have the requirement. From the requirement, you prepare test scenarios. From the test scenarios, you prepare a test case. Inside the test case, you will have test steps. Test steps, these are the baby steps I have written. And after test steps, you will have test data. Test data means, see here I have told verify if the registered user can log in. Then Anita will say, Kiran, give me one registered username and password. That is test data. So example here, there is a demo username, John Doe. Just copy. And there is a password given. Just copy. So these are registered users. If I log in, I should go inside. See, I'm inside the application. I can log out from here because this guy is successfully logged in. So this username and password in this case is called test data. So after test steps, you will need the test data. So this is the hierarchy that you will have in software testing. Okay. So this is about test scenarios and test cases, guys. Hope you understood that. Finally, there is a question from Tasha. What is a user story? User story is something similar to a requirement. Okay. So what is the difference? So I will say user story is if a granular level of requirement details is called as user story. So when the agile industry has come into picture, when the agile methodology has come into picture, the test scenarios have started becoming user stories, which means this is a very big general requirement. So if this requirement is converted to user story, then how the user story will be written. So story is like I'm telling you. Okay, now let's ask this question. Did I teach anything today? Of course, yes. But am I talking like a teacher? No, I'm talking mostly like a friend, where I'm taking the example of my wife, curry, cooking. So I'm preparing a story for you, right? So that you understand it better. If I talk completely technical, you may not like it. So I have to bring in the daily life examples of cooking industry or the Mukesh Ambani industry. Then you'll understand and follow it. Similarly, user story means tell the requirement in a way that the user understands, right?
So is the scenarios made out of story in Agile? Like when they say a story has come, do they create scenarios out of the story and then proceed with test cases?
Actually, no,
Or
I'll tell you. Usually, scenarios are designed by testing team only. But in the agile methodology, when the user stories are being written, the person who is writing user stories, they think like a test engineer, and they use the concept of test scenarios and they design the user stories. So I'll tell you now. So if Kiran is told to write user stories for this requirement, so I will say user story 1 will be the application to have a login screen. That's it. User story 2, the login screen to have a username label and text box. User story 3, same thing, I will say password label and text box. Then user story 4, the application to have a login button. User story 5 will be only valid
validate.
users can log in. And what mostly the art of writing is different. So here they will say as a user I can view the login screen on the application. Just the language is changed. So you will see the word as a user I can do this. I can also write the second one like this. As a user, when I open the login screen, I can see a username, label, and a text box. And user story 4 will be written like, as a user, if I enter valid username and valid password, I can log into the application. So as a user is the technique they are using, saying, okay, if it is Kiran, I should be able to see this. If it is Kiran, I should be able to log in. If it is Srilata, she should not be able to log in. So something like that. You are building a story. Again, think user stories like this. Again, I'm taking an example of a movie. Okay. Most of you have heard of the movie Bahubali, seen it, right? Part 1 and 2. Why did the movie became a trendsetter in Indian market, right? And even at the international level? Simple. The answer is storytelling. The way the director narrated the story, it reached out to every person who was in the theater. Every person understood it, and they were involved to the story when the movie is happening. Everyone was able to correlate it. They became actors in the movie when they're watching the movie. So the way the story is told is the reason why this movie has become a huge hit, and it made a lot of thousands of crores after 1 year. This is what is called as user story. If you tell the story in a way that opposite person can understand, they will like you.
Yes.
Similarly, the requirement also should be told in a way that developer will understand, designer will understand, project manager will understand, and the tester also should understand. That's why companies started recruiting someone called as scrum masters or business analysts. Their job is to think like the director of this movie and write detailed user stories so that everyone can understand. Okay, so simple, Tash, that the answer to your question is a user story is also a requirement, but more on a granular level, more on a very low level details, finer details is being told to you in a user story.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is a very quick synopsis of manual testing. Okay, this is not at all part of my agenda, but I just wanted to have today's class as a manual testing so that you understand my language at least. Since we have 2 days break, Saturday and Sunday, I don't want to start API testing and then give a break. Monday, we are starting with the course curriculum that I have shown you. Okay. Now, before we wind up the class for today, anyone has a question?
Hi, I have a question.
Mhm.
So what are the prerequisites required to take this API testing? Because I have a little bit of manual testing experience, but do you need programming languages experience, or
Okay.
will I be able to navigate the course? I mean, would you be giving? I mean, if I don't have zero knowledge of any programming knowledge, I mean, experience, so would you be able to share any other resources, or how heavy is, because somebody in the beginning talked about load testing and performance testing, so I'm thinking, is it do you need any kind of automation experience tools, like, I mean, Selenium or Cucumber, or any kind of framework that you um, already know to take
Got
this
it.
course? Thank you so
Got it.
much.
I'll answer that. Very good question, Anita. I'll answer that. I think this question helps even the remaining participants. My simplest answer is no prior experience needed, especially from programming. Like you took the example of Java, JavaScript.
Okay.
It's absolutely okay. Even if you say you hate programming, you have no knowledge on programming, you can still do API testing with Postman. You can take it from any trainer, okay? Not just from me. Any trainer should say the same thing because you don't need this experience at all in this course. Why? Of course, there has to be a reason also, right? I'll tell you the
Yes.
reason also. The reason is one is the art of teaching that I take in my course is the plus point. Two, Postman, the tool that I'm using, it has the programming snippets built in, meaning you don't have to write it. You'll ask the tool, hey, can you do this? And the tool gives you. Again, a simple example if I have to take, let's say, Anita, you have to prepare curry, egg curry. And you say, Kiran, I don't know. But still you can prepare, right? How? Go to YouTube, watch a video, then can't you prepare it? Obviously, you can prepare it because in the video, the other person clearly demonstrated how to prepare the egg curry. After looking at the video, you can prepare it. Now you will never come back and say, I don't know how to cook a curry. Even if you say that you don't know how to cook, I'll simply say, go to YouTube, watch the video, then cook for your family, and you will do it. Similar answer, I'm giving it for this course also. All I request is, if you have that manual testing experience, that's more than enough. More than enough. If you do not have whatever I taught in this class, this 1 hour class, that should be the baby steps for you to understand manual testing. We still have a lot of things in manual testing to learn. But again, you can go to YouTube, watch a couple of videos on manual testing, understand what the other trainers are teaching. And if you have questions, you can always ask me in this training also that, Kiran, I did not understand what is the user story there, what is the test scenario. I will definitely help you. Though it is not related to what I teach, I can still answer those questions in the class. Okay.
Great. Thank you
So
so
again, I
much.
repeat for the benefit of everyone, you don't have to come with programming experience. Take my words. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because even in Postman, the coding snippets are written in JSON. So, I mean, if you don't have a JSON background, or, so I just wanted to make sure that, um, I'll be able to navigate through this course.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you so
You
much.
will. Sure.
Thank you.
Every one of you will be able to navigate because uh, the teaching also will be like baby teaching, something that everyone will understand. Because that's it. My objective is not to complete the course in just 20 or 25 days. My objective is to give or to set a career for all of you so that you remember me at least for 6 months saying, hey, this guy taught me, that helped me for 3 months in my job, that helped me after 6 months in my job. That's the agenda of this course so that you become strong in your career.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Any other questions, folks? Yes.
Hello, sir. As you
Ah,
described test scenario and test cases, on the basis of that, uh, can I say that test cases is a combination of test steps, expected result, and actual result? Because I'm assuming that test case is a kind of a one-line statement as like test scenario.
So sorry, did you say test procedure or test suite?
Test case. Can
Test
we
case. Okay.
consider a test case as a combination of expected result, actual result, and test steps?
Yes, of course, that is correct. What you said is correct. This is a test case. Test case will contain test steps, and after the test steps, you will have expected result and actual result, and also status field. So what you said is correct.
Okay, because I am assuming that means we have a test scenario is like a one-line statement. So I'm
Uh,
assuming that test case is also a one-line statement.
no. That's where we make mistakes. That's why I clearly told this. Test scenario is like your test objective, one-liner. Test case is never one-liner. It is like multi-liner. Like you will have detailed steps, like I wrote in the above lines.
Okay, descriptive.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, are we going to use any specific application or any random application we would pick up?
We will use multiple applications which are available on the internet. You guys will
Okay.
also get access to those applications. They're all real-time applications.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so I see a lot of involvement from everyone. Very much appreciated. Continue to pose these kind of questions that you have. You can also WhatsApp me, guys, in case if you have a question that you forgot to ask in the class. You can WhatsApp me on the chat, and we will definitely answer your questions. Okay, so I think on that note, we can conclude the class for today. Thank you very much for joining this day one. The next class happens same time, Monday, same link, use the same link. If the link changes, I will update you guys on WhatsApp. The link will never change mostly, but after 2 days or 3 days, the link might change. I'm telling in advance. For the next 2 classes or 3 classes, the link will be the same. The training meeting link will be the same. If it changes, you get notified on the WhatsApp by me, and you can join using that link. Okay.
Sorry, how
Thank
do
you
we
very
get
much.
that number?
Sorry.
How do
I'm sorry.
we how do we get the WhatsApp number?
Okay. You can. Are you in touch with Isha team?
No.
Okay. So I'm just messaging you on the chat my WhatsApp number.
Okay.
Otherwise, I will give you. Um, no, you must have got the number from. I mean, you must have got this. Okay, you WhatsApp me this one. I will keep you posted. You just say that, hey, this is so and so your name, and that you have enrolled in this course. If there is any change, I will immediately, put it on the. I'll also add it to the WhatsApp group if I'm creating one.
Okay.
For now, I have messaged you my number. So you can just WhatsApp me on that. Okay, then. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. You have a fantastic evening for the rest of the day. Happy weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Take care. Bye bye.